You stand in the walk-in closet on Sunday evening, golden light across the floor, one hand on the smooth wool blazer, the other hovering over a row of wooden hangers. The room is quiet, but the mind is not. It argues with reality. This should not be this hard. It is only clothing. Fabric. Tags. Sleeves. Old receipts in pockets. Shirts bought in a hurry because some meeting, date, interview, promotion, or imagined judgment seem to require a different version of you. Yet the mind treats the pile like evidence. Keep it, and you are prepared. Let it go, and you are exposed. That is the false judgment. The event is simple, you are sorting clothes. The impression says your worth is being threatened. The ruling faculty must not obey that first appearance without examination. Epictetus would not ask whether the blazer is expensive enough, fashionable enough, or impressive enough. He would ask what has authority over you in this room. The wooden hangers are waiting. So is the next choice. Pause. Name the impression. Accept the fact. Then act on what is yours to govern. The wooden hangers are waiting because they do not argue. They hold what is placed on them. They do not praise the blazer. They do not accuse the blouse. They do not ask whether you wasted money, whether people will respect you, whether the version of you who bought those clothes was foolish or afraid. That is why they are useful. A walk-in closet on a Sunday evening can become a courtroom if you let the mind turn it into one. The light comes in. The wool blazer feels smooth under your fingers. There is a bag open near your feet. One pile says keep. One pile says discard. One pile says maybe, which often means the judgment has not yet been examined. The event is this: you are deciding what clothing belongs in your life now. That is all. The mind adds more. It says, if you give this away, you are admitting you bought badly. It says, if you keep only a few respected pieces, you may not have enough versions of yourself available. It says, if the closet becomes smaller, your options become smaller. It says, if someone sees your repeat outfits, they may think less of you. It says, if the fast fashion leaves, the fantasy leaves with it. Those are impressions dressed as facts. The first work of the ruling faculty is to separate what happened from what has been added. Epictetus keeps returning to this point because the ordinary mind does not suffer from events alone. It suffers from the judgment it attaches to events and then obeys without inspection. So define the boundary. Yours, the judgment you make about this closet. Yours, the assent you give or refuse. Yours, the intention behind the sorting. Yours, the attention you bring to one hanger, one sleeve, one decision at a time. Yours, the next response of the hand. Not yours, whether a coworker admires the blazer. Not yours, whether a friend understands why you donated the trendy jacket. Not yours, whether your past purchases were wise. Not yours, whether the money could have been spent better. Not yours, whether every future occasion will fit neatly into the wardrobe you keep. Not yours, whether reputation obeys your preference. You may influence some externals. You do not govern them. That distinction must be clean. If you confuse influence with control, the closet becomes a place of anxiety. You start keeping clothes as if fabric could guarantee safety. You keep the shirt that never fit your actual life because maybe one day it will protect you from being judged. You keep the pants you do not wear because throwing them away feels like accusing yourself. You keep the cheap pieces bought under pressure because discarding them would make the pressure visible. But no sleeve can govern your character. No label can secure your worth. No full closet can train your assent. A high-quality blazer may serve your conduct. It may be practical. It may be appropriate for work, interviews, meetings, dinners, funerals, or any setting where respect and appearance helps you fulfill a role. There is nothing stoic about pretending externals do not matter at all. Clothing can be useful. Order can be useful. A clean closet can be useful. But usefulness is not authority. The wool blazer is an external. The wooden hanger is an external. The closet is an external. The opinion formed by another person when they see you is an external. The past version of you who bought 10 things out of insecurity is now also an external. It has happened. It cannot be changed by regret, embarrassment, or another hour of bargaining with the maybe pile. What remains under your government is the act now. Pick up the piece. See it clearly. Ask what it is for. Ask whether it serves your present duties or only protects an old fear. Ask whether keeping it is an act of order or an act of hiding. Then decide. This is the boundary of control in a room most people would call ordinary. It is not dramatic. No crowd is watching. No one is applauding discipline. No one is forcing you to keep or discard anything. That is exactly why the test is honest. The ruling faculty is often trained where there is no audience. If you need every decision to feel easy before you act, then ease has become your ruler. If you need every discarded item to come with certainty, then certainty has become your ruler. If you need every future opinion to be favorable, then reputation has become your ruler. If you need the closet to prove you are becoming someone respectable, then image has taken the seat that belongs to judgment. Reality is simpler. Some clothes serve. Some do not. Some purchases were useful. Some were impulsive. Some pieces belong on wooden hangers. Some belong in the donation bag. The facts do not injure you. The judgment that your worth rises or falls with them is what must be refused. Acceptance is the first clean contact with reality. You accept the closet as it is. You accept the Sunday evening as it is. You accept the money already spent, the insecurity already acted on, the fast fashion already bought, the clutter already accumulated. You do not accept these facts as masters. You accept them as material. Then you govern what can still be governed. Your hand can return the wool blazer to its hanger with care. Your hand can fold the cheap shirt and put it in the discard pile without a speech against yourself. Your attention can stay with this one decision instead of running into imagined rooms where imagined people judge imagined outfits. Your judgment can say, this item is external, my use of it is moral material. That is the work. The boundary is not there to make you careless. It is there to make your care disciplined. You can care about appearance without worshipping appearance. You can care about quality without using quality as proof of superiority. You can care about order without turning the closet into a verdict on your life. The wooden hangers mark the line. What hangs there may be useful. What rules you must be examined. The line is marked now, but the mind will still try to cross it. That is why the next work is not the donation bag. It is not the hanger count. It is not the capsule wardrobe as a project. The next work is to see the chain before it becomes obedience. Impression. Judgment. Assent. Action. The impression comes first. It arrives fast. You touch the smooth wool blazer, and the mind presents an appearance. This piece feels right. This piece feels adult. This piece feels respected. Then your eyes move to the cheaper shirts, the trend pieces, the jackets still carrying the life you imagined when you bought them. Another appearance arrives. If these leave, something is being lost. If these stay, maybe you still have protection. An impression is not yet a command. It is only the first report of the mind. Epictetus would make you stop there because most disorder begins when the first report is treated as final truth. The closet shows you how quickly this happens. A sleeve brushes your wrist. A hanger clicks against the rod. Golden light catches a fabric you have not worn in 2 years. Suddenly the mind says, I might need this. Then it says, I should keep it. Then it says, I am safer with it. That is no longer impression. That is judgment. The judgment says clothing has authority over worth. The judgment says the full closet is proof that you are prepared, valued, protected, and socially ready. The judgment says a smaller wardrobe might expose you as ordinary. The judgment says repeating a few respected pieces may not be enough. The judgment says image must stand guard where character should stand. Now the danger becomes clear. The fast fashion in the corner is not ruling you by itself. The wooden hangers are not ruling you. The wool blazer is not ruling you. The judgment is ruling you if you assent to it. Assent is the inward yes. It may not sound dramatic. It may not even sound like a sentence. It may be the hand moving the unworn shirt back onto the rod before you have examined why. It may be the quiet phrase, just in case. It may be the shrug that says, I already spent the money. It may be the irritation that rises when the discard pile looks too large. It may be the refusal to ask whether the piece serves your present duties or only protects an old insecurity. That is how assent works in ordinary rooms. You do not announce, I now surrender my ruling faculty to reputation. You simply keep the item. You simply avoid the question. You simply let the maybe pile grow until the closet remains crowded and the judgment remains unchallenged. So slow the chain. The event, a closet contains clothes, some useful, some not. The impression, letting go feels threatening. The judgment, my safety and respect depend on having these options. The assent trap, I will keep what I do not use because insecurity speaks with urgency. The action, the hanger goes back on the rod, and the old disorder stays in command. Once you see the chain, you are no longer blind inside it. This is the work of the ruling faculty. It does not destroy impressions. It examines them. It does not pretend the blazer has no texture, no weight, no use, no place in your work life. It does not pretend a clean, well-chosen wardrobe cannot support good conduct. It simply refuses to let appearance become law. Pick up one piece. Do not ask first, does this make me look like the person I want others to believe I am? That question already leans toward slavery. Ask better. Does this serve my present life? Does it fit my actual duties? Would I choose it with a clear mind, or am I keeping it because I fear being seen without it? Is this order, or is this hiding? The answer may be keep. That is allowed. Stoicism does not require ugliness, neglect, or indifference to presentation. A young professional may dress with care. You may respect the meeting, the office, the client, the interview, the family dinner. You may keep the wool blazer because it is well made, appropriate, and useful. But the reason must be clean. Keep it as a tool for conduct, not as a badge that promises worth. The answer may be discard. Then discard without turning the act into self-accusation. The cheap shirt was bought. That is past. The insecure purchase happened. That is past. The money has already left your hand. None of that is now under your command. What is under command is whether you keep repeating the same judgment because you are unwilling to look at it. A wrong purchase does not require a second wrong assent. This is where the wooden hangers become a test. Each empty hanger asks whether your attention is governed or borrowed. A borrowed attention asks, what will they think? A governed attention asks, what is true here? A borrowed attention fears the smaller closet. A governed attention sees space as evidence that the false judgment has lost one more place to hide. The mind may still protest. This should not be so uncomfortable. But the discomfort is not the enemy. The protest is another impression. Name it. Let it stand there without obeying it. Say, this is the appearance that letting go threatens my value. Then answer with judgment trained by reason. No external can decide the worth of my ruling faculty. Clothing may serve me. It may not command me. Then act. Place the useful piece on the wooden hanger. Put the unused piece in the bag. Return the blazer carefully if it serves. Release the shirt that only protects an image. Do one item cleanly. Then another. The chain has been interrupted. Impression did not become automatic judgment. Judgment did not receive unexamined assent. Assent did not drag the hand into the old action. For one ordinary decision, in one quiet closet, on one Sunday evening, the ruling faculty resumed its office. That is not a small thing. That is not a small thing because ascesis is not decoration. It is training. It is the repeated act by which the ruling faculty learns not to kneel before the first appearance. In this closet, ascesis does not look heroic. It looks like standing still before the wooden hangers when the mind wants to rush. It looks like keeping your hand on the wool blazer long enough to notice the smooth texture without letting that texture become a verdict. It looks like allowing the golden light of Sunday evening to show the room plainly. Too many pieces, too many old bargains, too many clothes kept for an imagined judgment. The training begins with the body. First, stop moving. Do not reach for another hanger yet. Do not fill the silence with music, a podcast, or a phone call. Let the room be ordinary. Let the closet be what it is. The first discipline is to interrupt momentum, because insecurity often moves faster than reason. Second, name the impression. Say it plainly, this feels threatening because I have treated clothing as protection. Not because the shirt has power. Not because the blazer has moral authority. Not because the empty hanger is dangerous. The impression is only the mind presenting an appearance. Name it, and it loses the disguise of fact. Third, touch the anchor. Put one hand on the wooden hanger. Feel its plain weight. It has no opinion. It does not admire you. It does not condemn you. It only holds what you choose to place on it. Let that object bring attention back from imagined rooms, imagined coworkers, imagined comments, imagined social measurements. Fourth, separate use from image. Hold up the piece and ask, does this serve my actual conduct? Not my fantasy life. Not the version of me who bought it under pressure. Not the person I hope strangers will assume I am. Does it serve work, duty, decency, weather, movement, modesty, function, respect? If yes, it may stay. If no, the argument for keeping it must be examined. Fifth, decide with the hand. The ruling faculty is not proved by thoughts alone. Put the piece where the judgment says it belongs. On the wooden hanger. In the donation bag. Back in a repair pile. Folded for return. But do not keep holding it while pretending you are still deciding. Hesitation can be useful for examination. It can also become a hiding place. Sixth, refuse the speech against yourself. When you see the discarded fast fashion pile growing, the mind may try another tactic. It may say, you wasted money. You were foolish. You should have known better. This is still resistance to reality. The purchase has happened. The money was spent. The insecurity acted once. Do not let it act twice by turning fact into self-accusation. 7. Repeat on the next item. Ascesis is repetition without drama. One hanger. One sleeve. One choice. One refusal of false assent. Then again. The old habit was not built in one purchase, and it will not be corrected by one proud gesture. It is corrected by trained attention. This is why the closet matters. A crowded closet can become a map of unexamined assent. The dress you never wear because it belongs to a life you do not live. The jacket kept because the label made you feel briefly protected. The pants that do not fit your actual schedule, actual work, actual body, actual duties. The cheap shirt bought because urgency spoke louder than judgment. None of these pieces is evil. They are externals. But they can reveal where the ruling faculty has been sleeping. So do not attack the clothes. Examine the command you have allowed them to carry. The wool blazer may be kept with discipline. The bargain shirt may be discarded with discipline. The expensive mistake may be admitted with discipline. The empty space may be left empty with discipline. This is reality acceptance in practice, not liking every fact, not decorating every regret, not pretending the past was wiser than it was, but meeting the facts cleanly and choosing the next governable act. The mind will still bargain. What if I need it later? Then answer correctly. You may need many things later. Future need is not under full command. Present judgment is. Keep what reason can defend. Release what insecurity alone defends. That is enough for this item. That is enough for this evening. What if people notice I wear the same few pieces? They may. They may not. Their notice is not yours to govern. Your conduct is. If the few pieces are clean, appropriate, and chosen with reason, then repetition is not disgrace. It is order. The shame belongs only to the judgment that made reputation more powerful than character. What if the closet feels too empty? Then let it feel empty without obeying the feeling. Empty space is not failure. Empty space may be evidence that a false authority has been removed. The wooden hangers are not accusing you. They are showing you room. This is the exercise. Pause before assent. Name the impression. Touch the hanger. Separate use from image. Decide with the hand. Refuse the speech against yourself. Repeat. That is ascesis inside the scenario. Not a speech. Not a mood. A sequence of governed acts. By the end of Sunday evening, the closet may still not be perfect. It does not need to be. Perfection would become another external to worship. The work is cleaner than that. The work is to leave the room with fewer hidden bargains and a stronger ruling faculty. The work is to leave the room with fewer hidden bargains and a stronger ruling faculty. But that strength is not proved by the closet looking impressive. It is proved by the conduct that follows. A disciplined wardrobe is not a trophy. It is not a new image to worship. It is not a cleaner way to seek approval. If you discard fast fashion only to create a more respected version of the same insecurity, nothing essential has changed. The closet is neater, but the judgment is still in command. Responsibility begins when you ask what your conduct is for. You are a young professional. You will stand in offices, meetings, elevators, interviews, grocery lines, family dinners, and rooms where people make quick judgments. Some of that matters in practical terms. You should not pretend appearance has no function. A clean blazer may show respect for the meeting. A pressed shirt may show care. A smaller wardrobe may make the morning less scattered. Order outside can support order inside. But support is not rule. Your duty is not to be admired. Your duty is to act with steadiness, honesty, and appropriate care. Your duty is to present yourself in a way that serves the work before you, not the fantasy of being beyond criticism. Your duty is to use externals without being used by them. That is the difference. The wool blazer hanging on the wooden hanger may serve a duty. It may be the right piece for a client presentation, a performance review, a serious conversation with your manager, or a dinner where respect should be visible. Keep it for that reason. Keep it because it helps you show up properly. Keep it because it is useful, durable, and chosen with judgment. Do not keep it because it promises you will never feel ordinary. No garment can make that promise honestly. The discarded pile asks for another kind of responsibility. Not shame. Not self-attack. Responsibility. You bought some pieces out of insecurity. You let urgency dress itself as necessity. You obeyed impressions quickly. That happened. The duty now is not to perform regret. The duty now is to stop extending the error. A past purchase is not yours to govern anymore. Your present assent is. So conduct yourself cleanly. Put the useful clothes back with attention. Let each wooden hanger hold only what is past examination. Fold what should be donated. Bag what no longer serves. Set aside what needs repair. Return what belongs elsewhere. Do not turn the room into a confession booth. Do not turn it into a stage. Do the task. Responsibility often looks like boring accuracy. This shirt fits my actual work. This jacket belongs to an imagined life. This blazer serves a real duty. This dress is only fear with sleeves. This piece was bought to borrow confidence from a label. This one is practical and should stay. Speak that plainly inside your own mind. The ruling faculty does not need drama. It needs clean distinctions. The external remains difficult. You may still feel the pull of image. You may still imagine coworkers noticing repetition. You may still think about the money spent. You may still hesitate over a piece you have not worn in years. None of that removes your responsibility. It only gives you material to practice on. Epictetus does not excuse disorder because the impression is loud. He also does not demand that you control what cannot be controlled. He returns you to the place where freedom and duty meet, your judgment, your assent, your intention, your next act. That is where responsibility lies. Not in controlling every opinion. Not in proving you are stylish. Not in punishing yourself for purchases already made. Not in keeping a closet full of costumes for imagined approval. Responsibility lives in how you choose while the impression is still present. When the mind says, keep it just in case, you do not obey immediately. You examine. In case of what? A real duty? A real function? Or the old fear of not being enough when seen by others? If it is a real duty, keep it. If it is fear, release it. When the mind says, this expensive mistake must stay because it costs too much, you examine. Is the cost recovered by letting it occupy space and attention for another year? Or is the cost now being doubled by false assent? If it serves, keep it. If it does not, let the lesson be enough. When the mind says, a respected wardrobe will make you respectable, you examine. Respectability in fabric is unstable. Character in conduct is steadier. Clothing can help you meet the role. It cannot perform the role for you. The blazer can enter the meeting. It cannot listen carefully, speak truthfully, or refuse petty vanity. That remains your work. This is why the closet is moral material. Not because clothes are sacred. Not because minimalism is virtue. Not because expensive pieces make a disciplined person. The closet matters because it exposes whether your choices are governed by reason or by the need to be protected from judgment. A person ruled by image will make even simplicity vain. A person ruled by judgment can use even ordinary clothes well. So let the Sunday evening become practical. Let the golden light show what is there without argument. Let the wooden hangers receive only what deserves a place. Let the donation bag hold what no longer needs to be defended. Let the wool blazer remain if it serves your duties, not your insecurity. Then carry the same rule into Monday. Dress with care. Work with attention. Meet people respectfully. Pay the bill that must be paid. Answer the email that must be answered. Walk into the room without asking fabric to do the work of character. Your responsibility is not to become immune to being seen. Your responsibility is to stop surrendering judgment because you are seen. That is ordered conduct. That is duty without performance. That is the ruling faculty returning to its proper office while the external remains external. The ruling faculty returns to its proper office when you can stand in that closet without needing the closet to save you. That is freedom in this room. Not owning less for the sake of appearing disciplined. Not buying better clothes so people will finally grant you the verdict you wanted. Not turning the capsule wardrobe into another costume for approval. Freedom is simpler and harder. It is the ability to touch the wool blazer, see its usefulness, and not kneel before it. It is the ability to look at the fast fashion pile and not obey regret. It is the ability to leave space on the wooden hangers without treating emptiness as danger. The world will still judge quickly. Offices will still have meetings. Emails will still arrive. Bills will still need payment. People will still form opinions from surfaces. Some will be fair. Some will not. That belongs to the class of things not fully yours. But the next judgment is yours. The assent is yours. The intention behind the outfit is yours. The conduct you bring into Monday morning is yours. So close the closet with order, not performance. Keep what serves duty. Release what only served insecurity. Let the wooden hangers hold tools, not false protection. Let the smaller wardrobe remind you that character is not stored in fabric. You do not need the room to prove you are worthy. You need the ruling faculty awake enough to use the room rightly. Return to what is yours to govern.